Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Premodern. This is Jund Midrange. This is a deck list that I half found online and I half kind of brewed. Thinking about Premodern, one of the best things about the format is that you get to play a lot of nostalgic, classic cards, and I was trying to find a deck that played Flametongue Kavu. I couldn't actually find any deck lists that play it, and I think that's partially because it does have the downside of if it's the only creature on the field, it has to kill itself, but I'm going to ignore that and I'd like to just try it out anyway. I figured a Jund mid-range deck was right up my alley and probably the type of place where Flametongue Kavu would fit right in. So we have Lightning Bolts and Terminates for our main removal. We have Duress and Cabal Therapy to clear our opponent's hand of key cards. A couple Grim Lavamancers can turn all of these various cheap spells into additional removal. Playing 4 Ravenous Rats. This is a nice way to reduce the number of cards in your opponent's hand, and as a cheap creature, we don't mind sacrificing to a Cabal Therapy. And attacking our opponent's hand is really good because we're playing Tempting Worm, which is a 2-mana 5/5, but when it enters, each opponent may put any number of artifact, creature, enchantment, and or land cards from their hand onto the battlefield. This could be really bad for you, obviously, but it's an enormous creature for really cheap, and ideally, we've at least used a hand attack spell to know if it's going to be too devastating to play the worm early, or if we have removal to deal with what they can put out, and Ravenous Rats could just make them pitch some cards so that they just have fewer cards to put out with the worm. We're also playing some Sylvan Libraries for some extra value, and 4 Call of the Herd, because this is a 3/3 for 3 that can flash back for 4 mana, not bad at all. Our mana base, we have 2 Treetop Village as some utility, and then we have Wooded Foothills, Sulphurous Falls, or Sulphurous Springs, Llanowar Waste, Bloodstained Mire, and some basics. Sideboard, Engineered Plague, Pyroclasm, Red Elemental and Pyroblasts, Tranquil Domain, Naturalize, and Phyrexian Furnace. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a league video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. We are playing 24 lands, but unfortunately we only got one in our opener here. If we get really lucky, we draw a couple off the top, but I think we got a mulligan that. Not hitting lands is really bad, and here we have 2, which is okay. Hand doesn't look great. I'm going to keep it and get rid of one of our hand attack spells. Hope we get a black land off the top at some point. And we have a couple lightning bolts to survive some early creatures, but not the best. They start with a duress. Probably just take a lightning bolt because we can't cast these. Although if they want to protect their hand, maybe they take a duress. They could be playing any number of decks. Duress is a staple in the format. They do take a bolt. Call of the Herd is not a bad one as long as we hit our land drop for turn 3. Wall of Blossoms. Flametongue Kavu's got not the most exciting target, but something it can eat, at least, in a couple turns, hopefully. They play Treetop Village and another Duress. I mean, I don't see any benefit of bolting them directly, so if they want to take that, that's fine. Obviously, I was thinking the Bolt could be really good to kill the village if they ever animate it, but I guess not so anymore. They might also take Call of the Herd, I suppose, which is not a bad idea either. We get another Kavu. 24 lands, and this is how we're treated. Outrageous. They go for a Cabal Therapy. They're probably going to name Bolt so that they can do the Treetop Village, and then when they see double Kavu, they're probably going to flash it back and take the Kavus. And our hand is just terrible now with all black spells and still no black mana. Yep. I mean, I guess them sacrificing this, the Kavus are actually not super relevant if there's no creatures on the field, but still. Oh, they play Yavimaya Elder. Fair enough. We get another Cabal Therapy. Their hand was all hand attack, so if I had literally just like one creature that could attack in or something, we'd be in a fine spot, but this is crazy. Reflecting Pool and a Ravenous Baloth. Okay. That's a really good draw, actually. They have no cards in hand, and I get a 5/5. Maybe we have a shot here. We can survive. It looks like they're on the Rock. Probably a more standard list than what I was playing when I played the Rock on the channel a couple weeks ago. If they can't find removal immediately, this can definitely hold them back. Wall of Blossoms. Okay. I mean, our hand is still terrible, but another Elder. We get a Swamp. Call of the Herd is 4 to flashback. Alright. If they get a smother or something, we're just toast. They could also attack with the Yavimaya Elders and sacrifice one of them, whichever one I block. Not the worst thing ever, but not great either. They do just sacrifice it. Okay. Probably should have gone for the attack. They were going to do this anyway. When it dies, you get to search for 2 basic lands, put them into your hand, plus you draw a card when you sack it. So it's a 3-for-1 for 5 mana. Cabal Therapy. Sure. They name Cabal Therapy, discard all of those, and they can also take the duress if they want. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll duress them. I'm expecting them to have nothing, because they otherwise would have taken it, but might as well get one of these down. We'd still be heavily losing the race because our 5 damage to their 6, or actually 9 if they used Treetop Village. Definitely just holding back until we get another creature, at least. Another worm. Okay, so I could attack with 1 worm, play the other. Not really expecting this duress to get any better at any point, so I'm just going to send it off knowing it'll probably just hit another land. Yep. We'll swing. They could animate Treetop Village and like double block, or they could just chump here. That makes sense. Despite everything that's happened, the fact that we just have a 2-mana 5/5 in the deck is pretty nice. Oh, they are drawing a card here, which means I could have saved the duress for after. Plus now they get to put all of these lands onto the battlefield, which isn't the biggest deal ever, but it's, you know, still a lot of mana if they do get anything that can use it. They put Genesis onto the field. Well, it's a 4/4. Smaller than our guys. So I need like a terminate so I can attack, and if they go for a double block, I won't get destroyed. Oh, they're going to attack because they get to pay 3, which is basically nothing at this point to return a creature. Yeah, I kind of can't let that die. So we'll just take 4. They Cabal Therapy us by sacking the Genesis. Sure. So they get to do it anyway. So I guess I should have blocked because I didn't really care if they had the Cabal Therapy. Didn't really think about that. They're going to animate the Treetop Village, and I wish I had a kill spell, but we're just going to kill the Baloth because I'm going to flashback Call of the Herd, get a 3/3, but I guess they just bring back the Ravenous Baloth with Genesis. I've seen Genesis in a few decks, and it seemed pretty terrible every time, but my opponents never had 11 mana on the field, so now it seems pretty good. I don't have Graveyard Hate in the main deck, so I guess I'll need to bring in a couple Phyrexian Furnaces. I mean, this game's gone better than I expected it to at the beginning, but I think with this Genesis, we're never going to be able to get through unless we just draw, like, a Terminate every turn here. They have another Elder. Sylvan Library. Well, we can play that. I could attack with the Worm, but then they just block. They either just chump or they block, and they get it right back. Should we be playing Genesis? I mean, right now it looks like we have no lands at all, so probably not, but it does seem decent in the right deck. I guess the Elders have made it a lot better because they're continuously getting lands. Pernicious Deed can blow up all 2-drops. They attack with the Baloth. Alright. We're not coming back from that, unfortunately. I think a couple Furnaces and maybe some Naturalizes for Pernicious Deed. They could be running Sylvan Library themselves. And I think Kavu, like, if we just didn't have the most awkward draw ever, I think Kavu would have been fine killing their creatures, of which they have a few. Cut a couple Duress. Lavamancers don't look like they're hitting anything super relevant here. Alright, this is better. We just have a reasonable curve, and we actually have some lands. Not sure I'm going to want a Tempting Worm on turn 2. That seems extremely risky. I could probably Rats turn 2 to make him lose another card. Maybe Tempting Worm on 3, and then if they put a big creature down, I at least get to Flametongue Kavu it. But like, this just lets them drop every permanent that they have. And they Cabal Therapy. Let's see if they hit anything. Name Sylvan Library. Okay. They are not gonna. But the question is, do I want to do a Tempting Worm or something, because they might flash that back next turn. They get to put 5 cards onto the battlefield. They're probably going to be playing mostly permanents. I think we'll start with the Rats. If they flash this back for the Tempting Worm, so be it. Discard a Furnace. Like, they have a Wall of Roots. They could flash back. They choose not to. Ooh, okay. Duress. We'll see how bad it is. Plus, if I get to take something, they only have 2 cards left. And if they put 2 cards in with the Tempting Worm, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be 3, though, because Duress doesn't hit anything. They have double Yavimaya and Wall of Blossoms. Yeah, honestly, letting them put in the Yavamayas is not great. It lets them start making sure they hit their land drops immediately, because they can sacrifice 1, and then they also get to chump block the Tempting Worm. By waiting a turn, I maybe cut them off 1 land for 1 turn. Actually, no, because they can just play it. Flashback Cabal Therapy to take something. They still get to search for their guys. Alright, we're going to play the Worm. Hopefully, if they just have a bunch of lands, it's not going to change that we have a 5/5. And hopefully they'll just only get lands. They play a Forest and a Ravenous Baloth. Yep, they're going to Cabal Therapy, take our Kavu. See, Kavu would be so good here if they didn't have the therapy. Okay, now we're going to pass. I think maybe I should have taken out all these Duresses. I took 2 of them out, and I of course drew 2 of them. They don't seem amazing here. Wall of Blossoms into Wall of Blossoms. Terminate. I guess we'll Duress. This is one of the few times I might be able to hit something. Oh, Chainer's Edict is relevant. We'll go ahead and swing, and if they go for like a double block, I can terminate. And if they just jump, that's also fine. They're going to attack for bunch. I'll block the Elder here, and I'll terminate the Ravenous Baloth, which means that they're going to be able to sack it to draw, or gain 4. So it's hard to race here, but Cabal Therapy. I'll swing, and there's a bunch of things that they might have, but what are they going to have that they wouldn't have played? Maybe a Pernicious Deed, just because it doesn't look the best right now. I'm not going to want to flash this back if I miss. I guess they'd probably play it and just put it on the field, but then I could naturalize it. Double land, okay. I mean, I knew they had a land from the Elder, I suppose, but didn't realize that that was all they had. Play a Swamp, leave back there, Elder to block. Could bolt it. That doesn't seem like the best use of our mana, or our card here. Block and sack, search up 2 more basics, pass the turn. They flash back Chainer's Edict. Yep, that's annoying. We do get a Flametongue Kavu. I guess I kill the Wall of Roots. Wall of Blossoms blocks better, but with the Kavu on board, I don't really care. I guess I could have killed this and then I could have bolted the Roots. Maybe that would have been okay. I just kind of want to hold the Lightning Bolt in case they get like a Treetop Village or something. But if they duress us, I'm going to be forced to use it anyway, so I guess I should have done it the other way. They cast Gaia's Blessing, shuffling 3 cards into their library. Swing for 4. I'll just hold this because maybe they'll send off another duress for what's in our hand. Wall of Roots. If they don't activate that, it can actually block. Cabal Therapy. They block. We'll pass. They Cabal Therapy us. What are they going to name? Name's Duress. Well, you named the wrong one. You loser. They're going to block. I could therapy them, but I just don't see the point at this point. I mean, I'll have to use it. I might as well use it at some point, but I don't know. There's a Pernicious Deed. Call of the Herd. There's no reason for me to call the Herd, because then they just have a Pernicious Deed. I did bring in Naturalize, so I guess I'm waiting on that. Play a Reflecting Pool and pass. We get a Furnace. It's not nothing. I mean, I could exile their Cabal Therapy. It's only a target card, right? Not really that worried about the Cabal Therapy. I think I'd rather save this for getting rid of a Genesis, or just very slowly try to get rid of their whole graveyard, potentially. I guess this blows up the Furnace too, but that's fine. Another Elder. Oh, Sylvan Library also gets blown up by this. So there's not really a reason to play anything here till we get that Naturalize. Chainer's Edict. Sure. Terminate. So I could call the Herd, so I could block this and I don't keep taking 2, but then I need to deal with the Chainer's Edict, which means I'm going to have to sack the Furnace. I think it's fine. Let's just call the Herd. If they Chainers it, then I get to just flash it back. I don't want to just flash it back now, because then they could just Pernicious Deed them both. Sack Yavimaya Elder. Okay. Wasn't exactly what I was expecting right away here. There's Chainer's Edict. See, I figured they'd do that and then attack for 2. Flashback Cabal Therapy. Okay. They could hit a Sylvan Library or terminate now. It's a possibility. Tempting Worm. Alright. That was a whiff. I will thin my deck, I suppose. Grabbing a Forest here. Flashback Call of the Herd. I guess I might terminate this Wall Roots. Should I go for a Cabal Therapy? They could definitely be sandbagging things at this point, in case they want to blow everything up. Sure. Ravenous Baloth? Actually, what if they have another Pernicious Deed? They're not going to play that. Let's do that. 3 lands and a Wall Roots. Alright. Well, I'm not going to kill their Wall of Roots when they have another one, clearly. They just play it out. That's kind of weird when they have this Pernicious Deed. I guess I could Sylvan Library. That might force the deed. But I need to have a follow-up if I want to force the deed, I think. Play a Swamp. Forest. Pass the turn. Well, that's all my basics. So this Bloodstained Mire is useless, as are, like, 5 more fetch lands in my deck. That's not great. Should potentially be running more basics. There's Genesis and another Pernicious Deed. Okay. I mean, I guess they could blow up 1 for 2 or less and it's unaffected, but kind of weird. Lightning Bolt. I've already used 1. I need 1 more Lightning Bolt and a way to deal 2 damage. I took the Shamans out, didn't I? Well, I'm going to cast down this, terminate this Genesis. Which then they're going to blow up the Pernicious Deed in response for 1. So I'm not going to be able to... I guess I could double bolt it, and then they do another Pernicious Deed in response. But then if they do... I guess I should have blocked, so then I could have not had to deal with this. Yeah, that was a mistake a bit. Because if I had blocked and dealt the damage to it already, then I could Lightning Bolt it twice. If I bolt it twice, I'm not winning with damage very well, but then I get to play a Sylvan Library. And if they want to waste their second deed, then my Tempting Worms come back online. So I guess we'll do this. Oh, they don't use it. Exile Genesis. There's a Tempting Worm. So do I play Sylvan Library? And then yeah, okay, let's do that. Sylvan Library, and then if they want to blow up the Pernicious Deed so that I lose my library, they lose their Wall of Roots, and then I have a clear path with the Tempting Worm. Whereas if I play the Tempting Worm, they get to chump for 2 turns and then maybe blow it up, and then I don't get to use my library that whole time. So yeah, they go for that. Okay, and a Call of the Herd. Okay, let's see what they got. Bunch of lands. And they kept 1 card in hand, so it could be a spell. I'm hoping that there's not another Pernicious Deed, and I'm just going to play this so that I have 11 damage on board. They have a Smother. That's not the worst thing ever. They have another Smother. Okay, well, okay, another Tempting Worm. That's still lethal next turn. Pretty good draws here. Wall of Blossoms is pretty good for them. Blocker then also draws a card. And a Elder? Come on. Wooded Foothills is no good. Those are really good draws. They get to chump. I mean, draw 3, essentially. Block this indefinitely. Wooded Foothills is a dead card. I'll leave it in hand in case they get a Duress or whatever. Baloth. And another Elder. How many Elders do they have? I feel like we'd already seen 1,000,000. Swing at the Worm. If they go for the double block, I guess I'll bolt the Elder. If they just sack it, that's fine. Here's a Treetop Village. They swing for 4. Okay. They have a Wall of Roots. Ravenous Rats. Make them lose their card. There's a Forest. Swing with the Worm. Jump with the Wall of Blossoms. Pass the turn. We can just hit with the Worm 1 time. We'll be fine. Ooh, they have another Treetop Village. They're going to animate the first one. I'll trade the Elephant for it. And block here. Oh, I can't... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to kill them with the Bolt, actually, because they'd sack the Baloth to gain some life. I mean, that's also still decent. Now we get a Naturalize, of course. All the way now. Block... So they can attack for 7. I could bolt the Treetop Village. They attack for 7, we go to 1. I attack for 5, they go to 3. Then I bolt them. They sack the Baloth to stay alive, and then they kill us with the village. I guess I'm losing the race anyway with just this 5/5, but I can choose to leave it back if I want here. I think I kill the village. And another Genesis. That's no good. They attack with both. I'm confident they will, and we're going to die. I thought we were going to get this game. There's a Furnace, which I could naturalize, but it doesn't really matter. And if I had a Terminate here, I'd be okay, but... Alright, here we are in round 2, and... We'll give this one a try. We just have Duress into Ravenous Rats, double Terminate, which feels pretty good. They just have a Lightning Bolt, 2 Goblin Cadets, 2 Mistress Factories, 2 Bloodstained Mires. Okay. Whenever this creature blocks or becomes blocked, target opponent gains control of it. Well, the Ravenous Rats is pretty good here then. And then Tempting Worm shortly after. I could just play Tempting Worm now. But then they get the a whole bunch of Mistress Factories out earlier than they need to. So that let's just play the Rats. They discard the other Cadets, since it's not looking too good. Play a Cursed Scroll and another Cadets. Okay. Well, Tempting Worm looks like it's going to be a blockade here, which is nice. They can put down their other factory and their Bloodstained Mire, which they probably should, but it's not doing too much. It ramps them. Well, if they draw land, it ramps them 2. If they don't draw land, it only ramps them 1. Sack the Bloodstained Mire. Does give them mana to use this Cursed Scroll, and I guess it gets cards out of their hand for the Cursed Scroll, so maybe that's not worth it, but I still think it seems good enough. They're going to Cursed Scroll the Rats with a Mog Fanatic in hand, then play the Mog Fanatic, and they swing. I'll block one of these guys, so we gain control of it. Take 2, Sylvan Library, play that. Probably Should just leave back the Tempting Worm. I could attack, but it feels like we could take a lot of damage on the crackback. They're going to just scroll us with a Bloodstained Mire, then play that. Do we just terminate a Cadets because it's a blocker? These guys keep going back and forth. Yeah, I guess so. I need to get in with the Worm at some point. We're taking damage from the Wastes and potentially the Library, although we'll probably try not to because this Cursed Scroll could kill us pretty quick. Another Terminate. If I attack with the Worm, they ping off the Cadets. They could even chump block, and then they get to attack for 4. I get to terminate one of them. I think I just want to shuffle these back. So I'll swing for 5, which they'll take. Pass the turn. They'll search for a mountain. Curse Scroll at the face. Seal of Fire. Cast that. Crack the Mire for a swamp. I mean, do I cast down this Mog Fanatic? Feels a little weird, but it's going to be able to block. I guess they probably ping off the Cadets, or they just throw it at us. Either way, we're in some trouble. I think I can't afford to. Call of the Herd probably wouldn't be a bad draw, or another Tempting Worm. Lightning Bolt. Ravenous Rats, they don't even have any cards in hand, but it is a blocker. I don't need the Bolt this turn. Sure, let's put these 2 back. Swing with the Worm. They'll take 5, play a Rat, pass. They're going to Curse Scroll the Worm, which means they drew a Lightning Bolt, or Curse Scroll. No, they're going to Seal of Fire and Mog Fanatic it. Okay, fair enough. They realized they were not going to get there on the just attacks. Okay, now we're not a bad spot, because I can... They boot this up to block, and I get to terminate it. We have a Bolt. I could Bolt that. I could Bolt this, but I'd rather Bolt them. Ooh, we get the Call of the Herd. Yeah, so let's just... Put this back, swing. Oh, they don't even try to block. Interesting. Now they animate it after they've already taken damage. That's got to have been a mistake. But they're still giving me the option to kill it now, which I will. I appreciate that. Cuts them off some mana, and then we get this, and then we also have a Lightning Bolt on top, so any of these 3 hitting will be lethal. So even if they block 1, Curse Scroll another, we'll be good. Although they'd have to play the Curse Scroll. Okay, they got a mountain. So they can activate the scroll and then animate. Yeah. I guess they could scroll the Cadets. They could Mishra's Factory and tap to block the Elephant and trade. They're going to go for the Rats here. Oh, and we get to flashback Call of the Herd. Nice. I mean, we'll just swing and bolt the Mishra's Factory. Hit him for 5. Alright. That big old worm worked really well. They do have Goblin Cadets and Mog Fanatics, so it is... I mean, it's not like goblins. It's some sort of burn deck. Naturalize is good for the Cursed Scroll. Pyroclasm, I guess, doesn't seem bad. Maybe. Terminate and Lightning Bolts are good for the man lands, because instant speed. Same with the Lavamancers. They had enough creatures. Flametongue Kavu's probably fine. But I guess Flametongue Kavu's bad with Pyroclasm because it dies to that, so maybe I make that swap. And then a couple Naturalize for a couple Duress. We have a 1-lander, but we have Bolt, Lavamancer, we have Pyroclasm. I'm going to give this a try. We have 24 lands in the deck. The chances of drawing another land are extremely high, and based on what we saw before, Lavamancer Bolts can hopefully hold them off a little bit. I mean, I guess like Lavamancer will be really good unless they can just kill it, which would be bad. They mulligan to 5. Although this is, assuming I don't draw my lands, this is a good hand for them to beat us on a mull to 5 with. But I was also thinking if we get any land at all, we get to Pyroclasm. We could also get Cabal Therapy, but if I did that, I'd have to get black and not red, so we'll see what they start with. Mog Fanatic. I think I'm just going to pass. Like, I could play a Lavamancer. What good does that do? I could crack this for a land, but if anything, that thins our deck and makes it harder. Also, if I grab a mountain and then draw a mountain, it's bad. If I get a swamp and then draw a swamp, it's bad. So let's just take a damage here. Curse Scroll. Thought about Cabal Therapying them for the scroll, and I did not. Well, we got another Lavamancer, so crack this for red, I guess. I mean, if I grab Lavamancer and they have a land drop, they just Curse Scroll it. It's kind of bad. If they don't, they can also just Mog Fanatic it, but I'm fine with that trade. Oh, I guess if they have a land... Curse Scroll doesn't quite kill it. Animate Mishra's Factory. Well, if I knew they were going to animate Mishra's Factory, maybe I should have just bolted it. Now should I just trade for the Fanatic? They have the choice to trade for the Fanatic at any time anyway, so I might as well force it. Because they could just deal me a damage and then kill it, and then I've just taken an extra damage. Well, I guess we're going to discard. I could play another Lavamancer. I guess I'll do that. Part of me wants to leave up the Lightning Bolt for the Factory. If they play a land and animate 2 factories, but if the Lavamancer survives, because they can't kill it, I mean, they could have a 1-drop, a mountain, a land, and then a Curse Scroll activation. If they don't, then the Lavamancer gets to hopefully survive and use its ability. I don't know. Their deck is built around like 1-drops and Curse Scroll, though, I see. So they're going to swing for 4. And we're definitely going to lose because we're, going to continue not drawing any lands. I mean, how many lands do I have to put in a deck to draw them, you know? More, I guess. Goblin Cadets. Wasteland. And they're going to Curse Scroll this guy. I'll obviously kill the Cadets in response. They have a Grim Lavamancer. Sure. We get a Terminate. Nice. Get rid of one of those. Play a Lavamancer. Just scroll us. And play another Lavamancer. I mean, we're super dead, but, you know, if I got a land so I could Pyroclasm these two, that'd be kind of cool. Okay. Can't keep a 1-lander, no matter how many lands you have in your deck, I guess. The rest might be better than Terminate. Terminate is good to hit the land drops, or the man lands, but we already have bolts and stuff for that, so let's swap back and actually keep more lands, I suppose. Duress. Tempting Worm and a bunch of lands. Sure, we'll keep the opposite. We'll make the opposite mistake this time. I mean, 1 Tempting Worm was pretty good that game 1. They had to dedicate a lot of resources to taking it apart. Price of Progress. Okay, that looks scary. I guess these are basics, but it could look scary. Curse Scroll, of course. Lightning Bolt. Yeah, we're taking the Curse Scroll. They play Cadets. Naturalize. We're going to just play this Worm. They get a land and a Lavamancer and maybe whatever they drew. That's it. Yeah, so not too worried. I mean, they get to Bolt and Lavamancer this down right away, so that's a bit unfortunate. And then I have nothing. Yeah, that is a bit bad. I would have taken the Bolt if I knew I was about to draw a Naturalize for the Cursed Scroll. Oh, no attacks. Interesting. Ravenous Rats. Well, I'll play a Ravenous Rats. Discard Price of Progress. That's fair. I'll swing. They're just going to take 5? I mean, I guess. They can kill the rats. I just thought for sure that they would kill this worm. Incinerate to the face. Sure. I guess they're just going to go face with everything. Is that the idea? Yup. 12, 9, 7. Feels like that approach is going to fall a little short. But I guess right now they can Lavamancer this. Get it for the same 2 damage. Probably better to do it that way. Jackal Pup. No attacks. Yeah, they're just saving it all for face. And we're drawing only lands. I mean, if I don't do anything, I'm taking 5, we're at 7. But if I attack with the worm, they could kill this. Then I'm taking 4. Pyroclasm would be really good. I guess I just pass. I mean, there's a little bit of inevitability for them, but we'll be at 7. They'll only have 1 card in their graveyard. They choose not to use it anyway. So, like, we're not, like, super dead right away, especially if we can get some good cards. Well, we'll sack a Mire. Don't really love losing more life, but also don't want to draw any more lands. Played a Mountain. I mean, I'll Ravenous Rats, force them to cast their Bolt now, which they do. So they can shoot us for 2. We get a 6. If I attack, they block. I think I got to attack, though. Block with Cadets and take 1. Lavamancer to the face. I mean, if they just like draw Runner, Bolt, or something else, like we're gonna die. But Bloodstained Mire fuels the Lavamancer. That's it. So if they don't get much, we might be okay. We're not getting much either. Swing with these guys. I guess they can turn this back by blocking it, and there's no downside. I mean, they take 6. This card is really weird to get used to. Yup, they get it back. It's weird because I probably shouldn't play this land because then a Price of Progress hurts us more. But if I play this land, then it definitely hurts us if I want to use it. I don't know. They shoot us for 2. They can attack in for 2. So a Bolt would kill us. I don't know. This format's still weird. I'm still getting used to it. Cursed Scroll. Oh, but they have no cards in hand? Well, that's great, because I can Naturalize it before they deal us any damage. Which does give them another card for the Lavamancer, but I gotta do what I gotta do. No lands there. Okay, well, I guess... God, this card is so annoying. Yeah, it's just a blocker back and forth, because now they get to block. But I can't attack with both, because then if they just take it, then they can attack in for 2, and then shoot me. Whatever. Feels like we're gonna fall just short. Unless if they draw another land, and I get Seal of Fire. Nope, that's lethal. 2 and 2. Okay, really weird game. Okay, let's try to win one here. We have all hand attack. Seems like it could be okay. We start with the Duress, and then we're going to lose some life, but we get to then Cabal Therapy them and like just tear them apart. Start with the Duress, and they're on the Armageddon list. Armageddon deck. So we'll just take the Mox Diamond, because I can definitely just take the Armageddon and the Call of the Herd later. Tempting Worm. That's funny. I can get them to play all their lands if they want. I think I'll just Ravenous Rats. See if they discard a card. Even a land could be relevant against the Worm and with the Armageddon. And I don't need to Cabal Therapy here because the cards I know about are not 2-drops unless they get like another Mox Diamond off the top and they can Call the Herd. But then next time I can Cabal Therapy, maybe flash it back, and then Tempting Worm, and they just get a couple lands, but I've already taken Armageddon and stuff. I don't really care. I discard Gemstone Mine. Rishadan Port, huh? Sack the Windsweep, Teeth, and pass. I assume we'll get our Springs tapped down, which means I couldn't Cabal Therapy and Tempting Worm in the same turn. So I could just play a Worm and they get at least 2 lands. But then if they Armageddon, we're fine. But I also probably want to use Cabal Therapy to kill one of the elephants from the Call of the Herd by getting it gone the first time. So I think we'll just do that. It's also better to wait. I was saying before I didn't need to do it early, but it's also better to wait because if they draw another one of the same card, but they just have more lands, get rid of Call of the Herd. Flashback for Armageddon. Then I lose my guy. I don't really need to lose my guy. Let's just pass. Ooh, they got a Mox Diamond. I guess if they want to Armageddon us, then this gives them the ability to. Trevor's Ruins. Feels like they'd probably want to... No, I guess they do. Okay. Sure. I mean, they got a leg up with the Mox Diamond. Man, that would have been a reason to Cabal Therapy, but, I mean, all they have is a couple lands in hand. We have a 1/1, and we have a 2-mana Tempting Worm. So yeah, we're able to just get that down in a turn. Not feeling too bad right now. Oh well, Rishadan Port actually doesn't affect us because I have a fetch land here. And so we'll just play a Tempting Worm. They're going to tap our swamp in response. You got it. Get a forest. Tempting Worm, they get to put 2 lands on the field, but they're already going to play one next turn, so it's not that much ramp. It does let them play Call the Herd this turn if they want, but I have a 5/5, so that's probably fine. They just put the plains in, and they Swords to Plowshares. Okay, so Tranquil Thicket was put in before, and I apparently did not realize. So, I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever. If I knew they had another card, maybe I would have Cabal Therapied them, but whatever. I could Cabal Therapy them now. What am I even looking for? Terravore? Because that's played in these decks, isn't it? Sure. Naturalize. Okay. They play a Secluded Steppe. Tap down our forest. Next turn, they can get an elephant, which is going to outsize our rats. They flash that back. We continue to just get lands, which is generally not the worst after an Armageddon, but Weathered Wayfarer. We'll take 3. I guess we'll sack this for a mountain, so I can get a forest off of another one in case they Armageddon us. I mean, if we get Armageddon right now, we're going to lose, but oh, right. We only have 1 forest now. Doesn't matter, we'll just get a Llanowar Wastes. Activate Weathered Wayfarer. I guess they could probably find a Wastes off of this to blow up our Wastes. Wasteland to blow up our Llanowar Wastes, if they really wanted. Trevor's Ruins. Bounce the Steppe, which they can cycle now. Or they just have a Terravore. No attack with the elephant. We don't get the thing that can kill a Terravore. Well, Phyrexian Furnace can shrink the grave. We already have hand attack, which is the best thing against land destruction, so I guess we're probably fine. Naturalize can get rid of a Mox Diamond. Doesn't seem very good. I think we should already be set up to take care of them a little bit here. I mean, I can shrink a Terravore a little bit, but if they have a Terravore, it's either tiny and I don't really care, or it's enormous and this isn't a Relic Progenitus, so it doesn't exile the whole graveyard. Or a Tormod Script, I guess, would be one I could have in there. Alright, Cabal Therapy, Lavamancer, sure. I think we start with a Therapy just for like a Swords to Plowshares. Or I could go for like a Mox Diamond. I figure I'll flash it back on, probably an Armageddon, but obviously whatever I know is in their hand. Yeah, I guess we'll take Mox Diamond. Well, it was going to be a whiff either way. They have Weathered Wayfarer, Armageddon, Sylvan Safekeeper, and Furnace. I guess Furnace takes the Cabal Therapy right away. That's a bit unfortunate. That would have been a reason to lead on a fetch land, actually. No, they just play a Weathered Wayfarer. Interesting. Well, I'm probably just going to cash in that therapy right away. Forest. I guess this is going to get to search for more lands. I could have just bolted this. Or at least gotten the Lavamancer down to kill it for next time. But we will Rats and then discard Gemstone Mine. I mean, Armageddon seems bad for me. So I guess we'll take that. Activate the Wayfarer for Rishadan Port. They play a Heath, though. And a Safekeeper. So I could, like, bolt this, and they could sack a land. I don't know if they'd really want to. I think we just get down Lavamancer and play a Sylvan Library, though. Lavamancer can pressure either of these. Library was a nice draw, so I have a 2-drop to play alongside it. Otherwise, I would have had to choose between this and, like, a Call of the Herd, which I don't really want to do. They tap 3, and they got their Call of the Herd. And attacks with their 1-drops. Seeing as I can pick them off anyway, don't really want to trade. Another Lavamancer. I'd love to hit a land drop here. We do. So I can play Call of the Herd and activate Lavamancer. So let's put back this and this. And pick off the Weathered Wayfarer. If they want to give it Hexproof by losing a land, I mean, I guess they get to 2-drop a land, but that uses their mana quite a bit because they have to sack a land and then that, so I'm kind of fine with that. We'll play a Call the Herd, play a Forest, and a Furnace, which is going to get the Ravenous Rats. Going to need to flashback Call the Herd, actually, unless they just use that right away. Yeah, it's annoying. Gets rid of our 3/3. No attacks from them. We draw off the Library. I don't really need another Lavamancer. Put these both back. See if they want to tap something with the Rishadan Port. Doesn't really matter to me. Sure. They have another Call the Herd in the grave. I think I bolt this Elephant. And if they wanted to give it Hexproof, that's totally fine. Swing for 3. Play a Bloodstained Mire. Cycle a Tranquil Thicket. Play a Gemstone Mine. Naturalize the Library. Yeah, that is annoying. I was about to see 3 new cards, too. Shuffle those away. I guess by cracking this, I let them Rishadan Port the color that I didn't choose a second of, which is a little annoying, but whatever. They take a damage from that. We get a Terminate. Terminate's good for if they get a Terravore, although obviously I'll need the Safekeeper dead, but they just have a Swords here. That's annoying. I was kind of wanting to kill the Safekeeper anyway. If they attack, I guess I might as well throw a couple things at it. They said oops, so I assume they were trying to... They meant to save it? Oh, they have Swords for this. Gotcha. Well, that guy's gone too. Something good would be nice. They tap down our Swamp. Tempting Worm is pretty good. They have nothing to put in. They just used 2 swords, so ideally they don't have another. Rishadan Port taps down our Swamp. Luckily we get a Llanowar Wastes, but I don't think I need to even play that yet. So if I don't play it, they might think they're actually keeping something back. Play Treva's Ruins. They're going to bounce the Gemstone Mines with. Are they just flashing back Call of the Herd here? Nice. Unless they have a Swords that they've just been sitting on. I can terminate this, put them to 1, and then they can't use their City of Brass. Alright. And if they just don't get a creature or anything, a removal spell, then we'll get there. Alright, we got that game. Deck's not a total failure, I suppose. Alright, 2 lands, Cabal Therapy, bunch of hand attack, yeah. This is a keeper. They got a Gemstone Mine, Duress. We take a Naturalize, because that's all we can. They also have Sylvan Safekeeper and Meddling Mage. Okay. Not too worried. I mean, they could name Cabal Therapy or like Ravenous Rats with the Mage, which would be kind of cool. But we can always terminate it if we really need. Tempting Worm. Okay. More Rats. We're going to get red off of this, so I have a Terminate up, and then we'll need green for that. But Cabal Therapy for this Safekeeper, do I really want to do that? I'm not getting a lot more value off the Cabal Therapy, and then I just play a bunch of Rats to take all their lands. Sure, let's do that. Safekeeper, they got some Wastelands and a Windswept Heath. Play the Heath, swing for 2. And they have a Weathered Wayfarer. I was just wondering, actually, if they had these in the sideboard, or maybe the main deck, but they always took them out on the draw. And apparently the answer is no. It seems really bad on the play. But I understand you have Sylvan Safekeeper. You have other ways to like manipulate your land count, but it still seems pretty bad. They're going to use up their Gemstone Mine. Okay, fair enough. The Gemstone Mine dies. They sack the Windswept Heath, and then they're down to below 1. That's fair. That's kind of clever. Maybe not quite as bad as I thought. Richardson Port, that's kind of annoying, because I was going to say, oh, I get to just rats again, taking away another land, but with a Richardson Port, unless I get a land off the top here, I'm not going to be able to. So I could terminate this in our upkeep. I kind of think I will. We're losing some life, and there was no guarantee I was going to get my land, although I do here. If I swing for 1, they can attack me for 1, I guess. That's fine. I'm going to have more rats coming down. By playing the swamp, I tell them that they need to tap down the mountain, which is a bit of a pain, but luckily we still get to rats. They do forest and just have a Terravore. Swing for 1. I would love another land, because then I can rats and terminate in this turn. Perfect. So we get to make them discard their wasteland, and then blow up the Terravore. Not even worried that it's a 5/5. This does mean if they correctly target the green source, I won't be able to call the herd, but what are you going to do? I think the red source is in general more important, but no, they go for green here. And we don't even care because we get a Llanowar Waste off the top. Swing for 2, play Call the Herd. They're going to Weathered Wayfarer. And I guess I did have to play another land because of their Richardson Port, which means it lets them get something. They can get a Wasteland for the wastes, and then they can keep our green tapped, I guess. Yeah, that's what they do. Good for them. We're still just attacking them for 5 right now, so they need something else as well. There's the Wasteland, blowing up the already wasted card. They're going to pass, tap down that green source. Grim Lavamancer is not a bad draw either. Swing for 5. We'll see if they have... Yep, they have the swords. I could have Cabal Therapied before, but I figure if they have the swords, they'd use in response, so it's not a big deal. This way I also get to rats their last card. Then I get to play a Grim Lavamancer, so I'm not really hating my position. 3 1/1s every turn plus a Lavamancer is gonna hit pretty hard. So unless they have like a Wrath of God here, I think I might be okay. Phyrexian Furnace, that's annoying. It gets the Call the Herd, probably. But I can't cast that anyway right now. Cycle it for new card. And they don't even Richardson Port us. Swing with the rats. Part of me wants to predict that they're going to naturalize this, because I could Cabal Therapy for a naturalize to make sure that the library survives, but I don't really want to get rid of one of my 1/1s right now because they're pretty good, pretty impactful. Double Richardson Port. And I'm just going to Grim Lavamancer them for 2. See if they want to tap down our green and red sources. Although I guess if they do red, I'll use it in response. So maybe they just want to go for a black one so that I wouldn't have 2 mana and the ability to use Lavamancer. I don't know. Yep, that's what they choose to do. Call the Herd. Terminate Lightning Bolt. Don't need to terminate, but Lightning Bolt means that I can just attack with everything, and unless they have a Swords to Plowshares. No, even if they do, then they'll take a damage off the City of Brass, so that should be fine. Bolt them for lethal. Alright, we got a match. Nice. Alright, we have a decent hand. We could go for the turn 2 Tempting Worm. That is tempting. We also have just a curve of 1, 2, 3, 4, which is kind of cool. Lonely Sandbar. Well, we're definitely just playing a Lavamancer because that's all we got. I don't know if Stifle Knot usually plays Lonely Sandbar. If so, that kind of a deck like Tempting Worm is probably pretty good against. Okay, they're blue-white, just because like all they'd have would be lands. Sleight of Hand. Would love to get like a black source so I could duress first. But that's clearly not happening. I mean, the chances they have a Swords to Plowshares on the Tempting Worm are probably pretty high. I have a Flametongue Kavu not too far after. Let's just see. Let's do a Tempting Worm in the dark, then with 6 cards in hand, and see how it goes. I'm hoping not bad to medium, but I feel like it might be really, really bad. Sunscape Familiar and Raven Familiar. Okay, that... Not even any lands. That was not bad at all. They're familiars, I see. Allurin, I think, is the one that combos with this. But they didn't put Allurin out. Maybe they're worried it would just get, like, killed. Also, they can't pay the Echo for this, so this is basically just an Impulse. But a free Impulse is not bad, obviously. But yeah, overall, not the worst. Flooded Strand. I mean, it kind of looks like it's just white-blue, so I don't know what the payoff would be. Maybe this is just a value creature, and it's not Allurin. 3 mana, Frantic Search. Oh. Well, I guess it is. I mean, that makes sense. It's similar to Pauper Familiars, it looks like, with Frantic Search. Just reduce the cost of some of these spells and make the most of it. Which makes sense. When they only put 2 permanents into the battlefield, probably indicates they have a lot of spells in hand. Sleight of Hand and a Darkar Wastes they discard. And they just pass. Well, part of me wants to call the herd, but I think I really want to duress and see what they got here. And then I also kind of want to lightning bolt this guy. Counterspell. Sure. Bolt this guy. Swing for 6. I mean, not terrible. The Tempting Worm was definitely not that bad for us. And now it's a really fast clock on them. They have another Frantic Search. Discarding 2 Deep Analyses. Flashback one of them to draw 2. Island. Springs. Well, we're going to swing for 6. I guess we're going to call the herd. I could Flametongue Kavu, and I could hit the Tempting Worm, which is not the worst thing ever. Like Counterspell, that's fine. But we just get a slightly bigger creature, and I'd rather obviously save this to kill one of their creatures, and either way it's a lethal attacker, so I don't think I needed to play the Flametongue. And also it got caught by Daze, which would be worse. Assuming they're playing that, they might not be playing Daze because of Lonely Sandbar, I'm not sure. If this would enter the battlefield, sacrifice 2 untapped lands instead. If you do, put onto the battlefield. And adds 3 of any color. Untapped, okay. But I understand that's very powerful with Frantic Searches. Unfortunately, I'm a deck not playing Wasteland. But they kind of have to win here or lose, I guess. Grim Lavamancer can take out the familiar so I can hit him with the worm. Or I guess Flametongue Kavu could even take it out. So they get to anticipate, and they concede. All right. So yeah, not 100% sure what they're doing, but blue stuff means we get red blasts, pyroblasts, and some graveyard stuff. Probably not enough to warrant those. Duress, Cabal Therapy are great. I mean, Flametongue Kavu is slow for the Sunscape Familiar, but like could be good later because Familiar seems pretty important for them. So I don't hate that in general, but Bolt and Terminate can already take care of them for cheaper, so maybe we do make that swap, like a Sylvan Library. Alright, we could do a turn 2 Worm again, and we have Red Blast on turn 1, Lightning Bolt, we have some options. Cabal Therapy, do I just want a Cabal Therapy? I mean, I can Therapy for like Familiar, then I also get a sense of what my Tempting Worm is going to do, if it's going to be worth it, so I think we go for it. If they daze this, that's totally fine, obviously. I think Sunscape Familiar is probably a good one. We whiff, and they have a Snap, Deep Analysis, Blue Blast, Cunning Wish, reveal an instant you own from outside the game, put it into your hand. Okay. They definitely are just like pauper familiars, but in Premodern, so that's interesting. Play an island and pass, so they have up Blue Blast or Snap. Another Tempting Worm. I mean, they get to put a Tempting Worm on the field if I want. They do get to just snap it back to hand. All they get out of it's really an island, maybe 2. Also, if I Ravenous Rats them, they discard Deep Analysis. That's not very good. Well, we have 2 of them. We don't have much else to do. I mean, they let it resolve. If they have another land, they get 2 lands on the field, then they snap it. But then maybe next turn it resolves and they can't do much. I guess they get 2 lands, then they get to Deep Analysis for cheap. I don't know. I don't really have an alternative. I could leave up a Red Blast, or I could play a Lavamancer. Neither of those do much. And they put 1 land onto the battlefield. Not the worst thing ever for us. They just pass right back to us, which is fair, I guess. They can snap it in our turn. Or they could just take a hit or 2 if they wanted and want to wait, because obviously Snap is meant to net them mana, which here it's not. I could Red Blast, but they have a Blue Blast. That doesn't seem very productive. We have a Sylvan Library. Is this an instant? Cunning Wish? Oh, that's really good. I guess I could just leave up a Red Blast for that. I don't really know what they're going to get with it. It's going to be scary no matter what. But we're just going to play another Worm. I could play Library to hopefully hit land drops, but I kind of think I just need to hope for the best. Okay, that's really unfortunate. Putting a Familiar into play that they couldn't cast before because they didn't have white mana, and now they get to Cunning Wish for... I mean, it could just be like a Frantic Search or something. Could be a lot scarier, though. It is a Frantic Search. Play the Search. Discard double Deep Analysis. Flashback one of them. Play a Plains. Another Familiar. I really need a red land here so that I could play a Tempting Worm. Not a Tempting Worm. Play a Bolt on one of these and also have a Red Blast to counter their Blue Blast. I think here I'm going to Ravenous Rats them and then Cabal Therapy. They discard a Blue Blast. I guess that makes sense. Now I don't know what to Therapy for. What's the scary thing? Another Frantic Search. Feels like they're not going to have that. Another Wish. They would do that in response. A Counterspell. Maybe. I guess we'll just pass. I can use it next turn. Cycle Lonely Sandbar. I could use it next turn and then go for like a red blast or something. I don't know. I mean, double Sunscape Familiar could definitely just be lethal. Like, I don't know what their win con is, but yep, there's a Cunning Wish. Meditate. Draw 4 cards, you skip your next turn for 1 mana. So they're going to pass. Terminate. Well, I will Cabal Therapy them. Probably going to Meditate in response. I could Blue Blast that, Red Blast that. I could Lightning Bolt a Familiar. I kind of not like them to draw 4 cards, I guess. They don't. Now what do I hit with a Cabal Therapy? Another Meditate? Probably not. They probably have cast that in response too, just in case. Another Cunning Wish. I guess another Frantic Surge. I feel like we're not going to hit that there. Cloud of Fairies, Swords, and Deep Analysis. Yeah. They didn't Swords in response. They were not scared I was going to name that. Or they're just not worried about this worm at the moment. Flashback, Deep Analysis. They're at 4. I guess I just need to get this Grim Lavamancer down. Bolt them. Not having any mana here has been really problematic because I just can't do much. They play a Frantic Search. They play a Lotus Veil. Cloud of Fairies. Deep Analysis. Flashback, Deep Analysis. Where's my gut shot? Frantic Search. Accumulated Knowledge. I'm quite sure we're probably dead here, but I'm just waiting to see how they actually do it. Or if they fizzle, theoretically, but I'm not really expecting that. Another Deep Analysis. That one they can't flashback. Another Cloud of Fairies. They also have a Sapphire Medallion. Cunning Wish. Alright, this should definitely find, what, Brain Freeze? Would probably just be the win con. Although Brain Freeze right now would only be for 36, so if they don't have much else, they might have to go for like another draw spell, just to try to continue the storm count. They get Hunting Pack. Because Lotus Veil can make green mana, so they're just going to storm a bunch of 4/4s? I was going to say that I can just bolt them and win, but they can Swords one of their own Hunting Pact creatures, so I won't actually be able to do that unless I draw another sword. That's not going to work. I mean, if they don't think to Swords their own guy, then this will just kill them. But they probably will, and will concede. Or they have a counterspell. That would work as well. Or dang mana problems. Okay, well, Hydroblast is going to get there. I guess they have Sapphire Medallion, maybe Naturalize. Like, we only saw one there, but they surely are playing more. Like, in general, Grim Lavamancer doesn't actually kill anything. I mean, like a Cloud of Fairies, but that doesn't really matter. It could matter if they play it, then they snap it and stuff, but I think that's fine. Alright, Cabal Therapy, Naturalize, Lightning Bolt. Sure. We're going to Cabal Therapy for Frantic Search. Like, we already have Bolt for a Sunscape Familiar and a Naturalize for the Medallion. They mulligan to 5. Bloodstained Mire. I mean, they mulligan to 5, which actually makes it harder to hit with the Cabal Therapy, but obviously still not complaining. I think Frantic Search is probably one of the best ones to take away from them. Accumulated Knowledge, Sapphire Medallion, and some lands. So yeah, we can just blow up the Medallion with a Naturalize. I could make him discard an Accumulated Knowledge. Not sure that's even necessary, just because it basically cycles anyway, and then it draws them more cards. They don't have to use mana on it. But it is a card that I know that they have that I could take away. I think it's fine. Let's just pass. They go for the Medallion. Well, Call the Herd is not very well timed, because I think I want to blow up the Medallion. I guess I could call, and I could, like, Cabal Therapy their Knowledge. After all, sure, we'll do this. Accumulated Knowledge. They have a Blue Blast. They have a Lotus Veil. And we'll just call the Herd. If theoretically they draw the perfect card to, like, go off with just a Medallion that I didn't blow up for a turn, you know, so be it. If they Lotus Veil and then have the Frantic Search into everything, then good for them. They do play it. Tempting Worm. Well, how greedy do I want to be? Because I could play the Tempting Worm, then we have a 2-turn clock, but I only have 1 green, so I can't also Naturalize. I kind of think I want to do that. They probably don't have anything to put in. If they do, maybe it's a Sunscape Familiar or something. Then again, they have to draw really well. They tap for 3. They're going to put in like a Cloud of Fairies, I guess. Cycle a Cloud of Fairies, because that doesn't do much good, so they might as well see if they get something else. I guess that's fair. They don't. They pass. Alright, nothing from them. Terminate's not bad. And now I will Naturalize the Medallion, but we're going to do it in their upkeep. So if they have a counter spell, they have to use it on their turn. Or they're going to do something on the end step, and I'll blow it up in response. Cunning Wish. Yeah, blow up the Medallion. They can get something from their Cunning Wish. They get a Frantic Search, and Frantic it will be. They're tapped out of Blue Blast, so it'd be nice if this was a Pyroblast in this case, but it is not, so we'll let them resolve it. They discard the Blue Blast, untap the Lotus Veil, play an island, another Frantic Search, and they have one card left. Accumulated Knowledge does draw them 2. We'll swing. They could have a Swords here. They would go to 4. Lightning Bolt would not kill them. Yup. I will call the Herd. They have one more turn, one more draw. Deep Analysis. It's going to be tough with no mana. They play an island. Alright, and we take down that match. 2-2. Let's see if we can get the last one. Alright, we are on the play. And oh look, I totally forgot we were playing Treetop Village because we've not seen them a single time. We'll keep this though. We do have the choice of going Duress turn 1 into Cabal Therapy, or I could play the Treetop Village and just go for the rats. I kind of like the Duress on turn 1 though. There's a lot of relevant early drops. Could be a Mox Diamond. It could be like a Cursed Scroll on turn 1 could be pretty relevant. And then I can Cabal Therapy the next turn and hit something else. Okay, well, we're against goblins. Wow. This could work out really poorly. We Duress, we whiff. They have a Goblin Lackey, which can put anything into play if it deals damage to us. If I don't get an untapped land, I can't play a Ravenous Rats now on turn 2. And Cabal Therapy can't take the Lackey anymore, so it could be bad. Okay, we get a land. That's something. I guess they could still Gem Palm Incinerator our rats. So do I need to terminate this? I mean, it's just getting a War Chief right now, but that's still pretty good. Yeah, I guess I'll terminate this Lackey. I mean, ended up not as bad as it could have been, although they can still, like, just play a Wasteland, blow up our Llanowar Waste if they want. No, they just play a Tinkerer. I don't really care to terminate a Tinkerer. They have double Wasteland. So I could Cabal Therapy, like a Goblin War Chief, or Incinerator. I think I just play a Ravenous Rats, and then Treetop Village. They discard a Wasteland, okay. Good for me to know I'll probably be able to keep a land around. I do get to play a War Chief then. I can swing with both. Okay, we get a Mountain, so I can Cabal Therapy the Gem Palm Incinerator, and then I can also Call of the Herd. Oh my gosh, they had 2 Incinerators. That is value. Also a Sharpshooter, so I guess I just hit for 1, Cabal Therapy the Sharpshooter, and then I get to Call the Herd. Well, that was really good. Now we have a 3-3. They can Wasteland our Treetop Village. They have a War Chief. You know, they're not in a terrible spot by any means. Monk Fanatic. They could 2-for-1 themselves on a Elephant. They do blow up the Treetop just so I can't flashback. Call the Herd right away. Unless I get an untapped land here, which I wouldn't hate. Ooh. We'll swing. Take 3. Get to Call the Herd. Make another 3-3. They have a Rishadan Port, not a big deal. They can tap our green source, that's fine. Ravenous Rats. I think I just attack with 1. If I attack with both, I could take 4 back, and I could be in some trouble. I also have a Terminate I can leave up, though, in case they get, like, a, I don't know, some other haste guy off the top. I guess I'd probably just eat a War Chief, though, while I have the mana. Flametongue Kavu. Well, let's see if they just have a Lightning Bolt or something. They kept 1 card in hand, and they concede. All right. War Chief is, or not War Chief, Flametongue Kavu is going to be good in this match, assuming I can get it down soon enough. We do get Pyroclasms and Engineered Plague. I think we take out, Lavamancer is good if it can survive. Seems like a tough one to survive, but probably don't need Sylvan Libraries. Tempting Worm seems really risky. Certainly not something we play on turn 2, but, you know, it's pretty good later. Oh, Duress is really bad in this matchup, actually. They have, as we saw, we whiffed because they probably won't have much to hit. They'll have some Naturalizes, probably, for like Engineered Plague, but that's like it. Alright, we have Lavamancer with basically all fetch lands, Rats and Terminate. I think it's pretty good. I mean, could be slow, but Lavamancer could also just block a Lackey if they like start with Lackey and don't have removal spell for it. I can't always just have like a Lightning Bolt or something to kill it. And if Lavamancer survives, it can pick off a Lackey or a War Chief or whatever. So I think this one's pretty decent. There is a Lackey. Sack this for a Mountain. We'll put a Lavamancer out. I mean, I think we have to block, if assuming I get the chance, just because this could put out like a Siege Gang Commander. But they could have Gem Palm Incinerator, for example. Draws a card, kills our guy, and they get to put out a Goblin. What were they thinking when they made this card? Well, I was expecting something generally scarier, but actually a second lackey is pretty good, because now I can't just kill one lackey. I do get a lightning bolt, which is nice, but I think I'm just playing a Ravenous Rats because it blocks one of them. And you know what? If they kill this too, they get to double... Oh, what is this? Dodecapod. If a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, put it onto the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters instead of putting it into its graveyard. And it's a 5/5. Well, that's a heck of a card. That's good to know about. I'm familiar with a lot of the, the green ones of these, but not so much the colorless 5/5 here. That puts a War Chief into play. I mean, I get to terminate this and I can bolt one of these, so like, I'm just gonna terminate this right now. Tempting Worm. Okay. What did Foothills? Do I kill the lackey? The best it could put in is the War Chief. War Chief gives haste and obviously reduces the cost. I kind of think I kill the War Chief because haste is scary, but obviously lackey is scary too. I don't know. You know, if they just got like a Siege Gang Commander and they put that in, we're toast. Feels like they would have put that out last time though. Another lackey with one card left in hand that I'm about to let them play for free anyway. Not a big deal. Tempting Worm. And they put a mountain into play. Alright. We're stabilizing. They're tapping something. That's fine. Give me like a Pyroclasm. I guess I'll play this. A little worried that I might get like Price of Progress. I'm not going to trade. It's about an even race, plus they obviously get their triggers, so that seems bad. If they want their triggers bad enough, they're going to have to attack into this guy. They're going to wish to import our Llanowar Wastes. I appreciate them doing that one so that I don't have to take a damage, although it doesn't matter here. We get to call the herd. That's a great draw. So I get to play a blocker here, and then next turn I get to attack for 8, make another blocker. They could have a bolt, but then they're probably not having anything to like bring back. It's not a big deal. Or to put into the field. They wasteland this, and they can tap our swamp, but I'm not too concerned with that. We have a Sulphur Springs if I really need, plus I just have Call the Herd. Swing for 8, Call the Herd, play a Bloodstained Mire. And we won the match. All right. We got a 3-2 with the deck, which is not bad considering we started 0-2 and I was pretty worried it was just going to be a major flop, but the deck actually seemed pretty good. Probably some room for improvement. I did only get to use the Flametongue Kavu like once or twice in those early matches against the Rock, which we lost against. The Rock felt like it had a little more inevitability. This list to be able to compete probably needs to have a little bit more speed. I really wish Tempting Worm just had Trample, because then I could trample over all their chump blockers that they had. That would really push this over the edge. Maybe I need to find a way to give it Trample. Rancor or something, I don't know. But Kavu was good. Call the Herd was consistently really good. 2 3/3s for 7 mana broken up is pretty strong. Of course, you can just go green-black with the Rock, and I like that deck. But I think the red does really offer a lot. We won a couple of games off of the Reach from Lightning Bolt, Lavamancer as removal for cheap creatures, or obviously some Burn to the Face is really nice. But I also really like Terminate. Like, everyone's playing Smother, and there's no reason not to in a black X deck that doesn't have access to something like Terminate. But Terminate being able to hit more expensive creatures is really nice too. For a second I was trying to think if we actually used it on any creatures that were bigger than 3 CMC, but we definitely did. Ravenous Baloth and Genesis both could not have been smothered and could be terminated, so I think that was pretty nice. Some matches, our hand attack just felt incredible. Some of them felt a little weak. I think 8 might just be too many. Maybe we drop 1 or 2 of either of these. I like the Ravenous Rats quite a bit. Taking a card is pretty good, and of course you need something to sacrifice to your Cabal Therapy that you want to sacrifice. I'm not usually doing that with a Tempting Worm. But also just having a cheap early creature that can block goblins or anything like that felt pretty nice. Would have loved to get the Treetop Villages a little bit more often. The mana base could probably use a little bit of work. We mostly had the mana that we needed, but it's possible we could even fit in like some more utility lands or something. Sideboard could potentially use some work too, but overall I liked it quite a bit, and I'm happy with the experiment. Tempting Worm also was really good. We had to play it carefully a little bit, but as long as you're conservative about when you play it on turn 2, and you don't always just slam it, I think it's actually a really good card, so definitely might be tinkering with this deck a little bit more. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my supporters, including my monthly $10 and up supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD NPX, Adam Cadman, Apple Beta Pie, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.